You are listening to the new man, beyond the macho jerk and the new age wimp. Your host is men's coach Tripp Lanier.
Did you have a terrifying experience when you learned how to swim? Does learning a difficult task feel the same as doing it well? And what life lesson can we learn from those cheesy 80s action movies? In this excerpt from This Book Will Make You Dangerous, we talk about the desire to quit, the magical Hollywood montage, and my covert Black Ops swimming lesson. If you're interested in the book, you can learn more by visiting dangerousbookstore.com. I had great parents, but let's just say parenting was quite different back in the 70s when we played with lawn darts and drove around without seatbelts. One day, when I was about 4 years old, I remember being told I was going to go play at a pool near my grandparents' house. I'd never been to this particular pool, but I loved being in the water, even though I couldn't swim. I just hated putting my head under the surface, and I damn sure wasn't going to go in the deep end. So we're walking into the pool area, and I see a woman there and a couple of other kids. No other parents. My dad talked to the woman for a bit, and then he said he'd be back after a while. Wait, what? I remember locking eyes with him as he turned the corner. Uh-oh, something's not right. It wasn't long before I realized that this was a covert Black Ops swimming lesson, which meant it wasn't long before that woman picked me up and threw me into the deep end of the pool. I remember screaming. I remember thinking I was going to drown. And I also remember that I learned how to swim. Teaching tactics aside, what's the point here? So many of us bail on the creative process because we think that the process of learning something is the same thing as doing something. And if we don't like the discomfort that shows up in the learning process, then we automatically assume that we're going to hate doing this thing when we're competent. But what if that's not true? Learning to swim sucks compared to being able to swim. Learning to ride a bike sucks compared to being able to ride a bike. Learning to play guitar sucks compared to being able to play guitar. Learning how to build a business sucks compared to being able to run one. And learning how to market and sell your offering sucks compared to being able to do it well. If my client says they want to throw in the towel, I encourage them to consider where they are in the learning process. Have they developed some level of competency in that particular skill yet? Or are they still in the suck of learning? I remind them that yes, our subjective experience is very valuable, but we also need to recognize where we are in the process. We can't expect to feel more free or alive or at peace if we're going through the suck. Going through the suck of learning something new doesn't mean it's bad or wrong. It's simply part of the process. And it's much easier to manage if we expect it. Now, it's time for a little magic. If you grew up in the 80s, you saw something truly magical in almost every action movie or TV show. It was the montage. Let's say B.A. Baracus and the rest of the A-team had to whoop somebody's ass. First, they needed to build a van that could launch missiles and jump a lake using lawnmower parts and an old golf cart that they just happened to find in some guy's shed. While some cheesy 80s synth music played, we watched them weld things, try them out, break them, try again, and ultimately get it right. A minute later, the music finished, and they unveiled their drivable WMD. And whatever it was, I wanted one. Same with the Karate Kid, and Rocky 2, and Rocky 3, and all of the other Rockies. These guys were all up against the wall. Something had to change. It was time to learn how to kick some ass. The music starts pumping. They try things, fail, try some more, get better, get even better. A minute later, the music fades out and they're transformed. That's the montage. The Hollywood montage speeds us through the challenging, less sexy part of growth and learning. The suck, the work, the trial and error. The montage feeds us the expectation that the learning process is quick and easy. But that's where most of us allow ourselves to get beaten by resistance. When I'm coaching a guy and he's telling me about some big challenge in his life, learning how to expand his business, learning how to have difficult conversations with his family, whatever, I like to remind him of the montage. This is the part in the movie where we dig deep and learn something. This is where we grow to meet the challenge. This is where we get to practice and screw up and figure out how to get it right. So let's ask ourselves, if we're going to overcome this challenge, what would our montage look like? What would we need to practice and learn and create in order to tackle this challenge? And most importantly, we have to ask, what song are we going to play? Let's crank it up and get to work. I hope you've enjoyed this excerpt from my new book, This Book Will Make You Dangerous. If you'd like to learn more about the book, then just visit dangerousbookstore.com. Thanks for listening.